once more, and welcome to another Warhammer battle replay. In fact, this was not just a battle replay, this was a rematch. A rematch of the last battle where I got crushed as Brettonia, but I changed my tactics and changed my faction. Yes, this time I'm playing as a Warherd of the Shadowgav. Probably my favourite, well, alright, there's only two Beastmen factions, the regular Beastmen and then these guys, but when I play Beastmen, I'm usually using these guys, mainly because Morker is my most common legendary lord. But it was a 2v2 again, with me as a Warherd of a Shadowgav, and I was allied with Clan Angrund, and yes, it's probably going to be taking up a few books in the great, well, not books, well, actually probably could take up a whole book of the great book of grudges if you're going to play it like that, but probably going to take up a few pages. And my enemies were the Norskins, who also had a lovely shaman there, a death shaman of all sorts, and the greenskins, who were being led by Azhag the Slaughterer upon Skullmuncher. So, let's see how this one plays out. Let's put this one slow motion and quickly go through the builds. So, I put some harpies on my flank over there. I had Vanguard deployed them because also the enemy had put some nasty skulkers over there as well, so we were both thinking alike. My front line is made up of Ungor spears, armed with shields of course, because that's how I like to play it. I had a beast giant as well to basically bring the stomp down on goblins if there were any. These are probably my favourite Beastmen units actually. These are Korok's Man Rippers. They're a Bestigor herd and with Galeaves, which gives them a nice hefty anti-large bonus. If you do play against me, by the way, and I'm playing as Beastmen, expect me to bring these. These are fantastic units. Then at the back, I had two units of Bestigors, armor piercing, good for taking down the bigger orcs. Morgher, naturally being my leader, armed with his spell to summon Chaos Spawn. Some Razorgore chariots as well. These guys I've enjoyed using quite a lot. Very powerful. Keep them mobile and they will reward you. And on the flank as well, I had some great weapon Minotaurs just to basically kill anything big that Norska might be throwing at me. And also in the hills, some Ungor raiders, because I wasn't quite sure if we were going to be attacking or defending. So I decided to put my Ungors up here just in case. Meanwhile, Clan Angrund had brought a front line. They'd brought plenty of miners, some of which as well were carrying the good old blasting charges to basically ruin the morale of everyone else. He had a regular dwarven Thane as well, not mounted on a table. He also brought some iron breakers, a runesmith, hammerers, also a rune lord who was actually leading the army. Then some more dwarf warriors, great weapon rangers, and some regular rangers with quarreler crossbowsers, and two units of thunderers. So a pretty average dwarven build. Meanwhile, on this flank, Norska had brought plenty of great weapon marauders. Also the Icehorn marauders once more, a death shaman, brutes of the hounds, very powerful berserkers. More marauder hunters armed with throwing axes, very good. They were going to be very powerful against the dwarves since they have armor-piercing missiles. Wulfric once more riding atop his war mammoth. Javelins, which I assume he'd brought to deal with me since I would be bringing large units as a Beastmen, and also a Norskan giant backed up by some spears and champions. Meanwhile, Azhag's army, he had the nasty skulkers in the flanks, which my harpies wanted a collision course to. As you can see, Azhag himself is already on his way to attack me. He brought plenty of orc boys, night squig hoppers, big uns, a few black orcs as well. The black orcs aren't exactly too effective against a Beastman since armor isn't really their thing. More black orcs as well. These ones weren't the Crimson Killers, by the way. These are just regular black orcs. Even more black orcs, as you can see. Squig hoppers, or yep, more night goblin squig hoppers. A few more orc boys, goblin wolf riders, big guns as well for dealing with large things. Savage orc boar boys as well for just generally high damage and also a little anti-large bonus. And the orc boy big guns once more. And with those spears, basically designed, I guess the enemy was suspecting I'd be bringing large things like Minotaurs and perhaps what's that thing called? The really big Minotaur, basically. The Gorble. I hadn't brought one. But Azhag was going right in for it with Skullmuncher. We can put this one on plate. So as you can see, Azhag was just not wasting any time. Charged in against my Ungor spears, while someone would probably say it's not a smart move because my guys are anti-large. Ungors are not exactly tough. But Azhag realised his mistake, decided to pull back nice and quickly. My hidden units had been revealed by the way. My Ungor raiders had been given away, but that's probably because I was moving them. So yeah, that wasn't really working. Also, Norska was right here. Norska had moved their javelins to reinforce the greenskins as well because he wanted, well, he wanted rid of me. And the foe was beginning to attack our ally. Meanwhile, my harpies, they had engaged the nasty skulkers. Not sure who was going to win that one because I can't remember, but yep. That kept the nasty skulkers away for a while because I assume what he was playing was a big old flank charge. Bestigors went right in and attacked the Night Goblin Squig herd. Not exactly going to be a winning battle there because squigs are pretty tough units. They can also deal with armor quite effectively and they just do those cute little hops all the time. So, as you can see, everything was just crashing in. My giant was already covered in blood. The, well, the Marauder Javelins were just going to start wiping him out. Orc boys running right into my Ungors, which I hadn't been using very effectively. But as you can see, Minotaurs just ploughed right through them. Just gave them something to be packing about. Azhag himself was going right around my flank. He was targeting Morgher. I pulled back the Man Rippers. Decided, right, if I'm going to take out Azhag, the big guy, may as well bring in my Man Rippers. They would cut him up nicely. But while that was happening, I was not really paying attention to my Razor God Chariots, who were just waiting for something to do. But I was busy dealing with Azhag, who had decided to flee once he realised the Man Rippers were on their way. Some of my guys were beginning to flee, but at the same time, routing was happening on the dwarves. Well, the greenskin side. Clan Angren was holding up on their own on their side, by the way. I had brought in my Razor Gors here and decided to just take out those Wolf Riders before they could do anything annoying. Took them out quite quickly. Azhag again, trying to jump in, and he was basically popping off all of his abilities at once. His Foe Seeker, the Wag, and Stand Your Ground. Just trying to keep his Black Hawks in the game. Since my Bestigors were having a pretty even time against them, so wasn't going either way, really. But some of my guys were already beginning to retreat, so not working out for me. But the Man Rippers were still nearby, getting ready to do their thing. But Ungors, they'd given up because Azhag had just been running around, doing everything he could to slow me down. My giant had died, the Marauder Javelins had taken care of him. Then Azhag came in once more, tried to take out my Ungor spears. Decided to have Morgher have a go at him. One good thing about Morgher, by the way, is Morgher regenerates his health, so if he does take damage in a battle, he will be able to heal himself back up if he keeps out of combat for long enough. But Azhag wanted to throw everything at this one. I was throwing everything in as well. I brought in some Bestigors to deal with him. Morgher had gotten bored and decided to go attack the Black Orcs, but it was basically a big pile and it's also a big rout. Most of my units at this point were beginning to rout this battle. Man Rippers had gotten to deal with the Orc Boar Boy Biggunzer, so the Boar Boys were not going to win this one. These guys are pretty good, as you can see. I love these guys so much. Their weapons are cool, they look cool, and he also just basically went in and, well, while it didn't happen there, you can just basically tell he straight up beheaded that Boar Boy, or the Boar Boy's boar, and that guy kind of died, but oh well. Meanwhile, yeah, I was in a big rout here. The Orc boys were getting pretty cocky, knew that we were going to win, so he's basically moving in to do with my Man Rippers. My guys had just decided, yeah, we've had enough, we're going home, we're not going to fight this one out anymore. Morgher himself, though, wasn't exactly giving up, trying to take on as many enemies as he could. There's also a Goblin Big Boss lurking around, by the way. He wasn't helping my case a lot, because they just tend to not die. But here comes the Razor God charge. Let's just get this one all nice in. So, Orc boys trying to resist the Razor God, but yeah. Not a pretty sight for the greenskins. While the Razor God hadn't penetrated too far into the lines, he had thrown disarray into the enemy. And I think this helped inspire some of my men, because some of them were coming back. And by the way, I had the destroyers of a Drakenwald in this army, except they kind of got wrecked, so it don't really count. But that kept my men happy. Enemy Azhag was trying to use his scroll as shielding just to try and keep his men in the game, but my guys have suddenly been inspired by that nice little Razor God charge. Decided to start bringing themselves back into battle. Ungors saw the flank, went right for the flank. Azhag himself was going to have to do something about this. Maybe his crown of amazing strategicness could do something, because Morgher right now wasn't doing too well. He just dipped below half health, and while he does regenerate, he was taking more damage than he could recover, so he needed help. Also, some of my, well, actually, yeah, this is where I've done it. I brought the Man Rippers around the back, and I noticed a weak unit of greenskins, so as you can see, I decided to bring in some Chaos Spawn thanks to Morko's lovely special ability. And yet these guys look really messed up because, well, that's what Chaos Spawn are. They didn't quite go right when they were going to go the whole Chaos thing, but brought them in. While these guys were just slowly losing health over time since they're a summoned unit, they were just having a lot of fun wiping out the greenskins. These guys pack huge damage when they're used correctly. Since their morale was high, since they just spawned, they were just going into a frenzy, just absolutely wiping out the greenskins, and the Man Rippers were just there. And I know while they are anti-large, they were just also shredding up those javelins, who I felt like needed to be taken out for basically wiping out my giant before it could be useful. But the Man Rippers, unfortunately, they were beginning to waver because Azhag had rocked up, but I said, yep, just attack Azhag, take him out, because right now Azhag was not losing any health. Over on the other side, by the way, Norska was more or less in a retreat, so starting to receive some reinforcements from my clan Angrund ally. A few blasting charger miners, the Thane himself, and the other guys were just also making sure that the other greenskins were not coming back. Over here, the Orc Boarboy Biguns, they were just, well, regular Biguns actually. They were just having a go at it, trying to take out my Bestigors. Luckily this time around, my Bestigors were going to win. Just taking these guys out lovely and bloodily, as you can see. And Azhag himself was once more. Azhag was being very mobile in this battle, but Skullmuncher was just more interested in taking on things that probably weren't going to hurt him. So he kept targeting weak units like my Ungor Raiders, just trying to keep them away from the battlefield. And as you can see, the Marauder Javelins were just, well, they weren't quite sure what to do. Wulfric had died in this battle at the minute, so they were without really much of a purpose. A few of the Orc Boar Boys as well. Well, I don't know why I keep calling Boar Boys, sorry. I guess it just rolls off the tongue so nicely. But the big guns, they were taking on Morko once more. Morko's health wasn't doing too well, and I was waiting on his Chaos Spawn spell to recharge. Because as I could tell at this second, the Chaos Spawn had all died. Which, yeah, they were surrounded and they were outnumbered. But they had taken out a lot of the enemy at the same time. And caused quite a few of them to rout. So I was happy with that at the same time. I was happy with that. Goblin Big Boss was throwing himself back into the battle though, just going to have another go at it. Went in to deal with Morko himself. But I brought in the Bestigors to try and wipe out what was left of the big guns, so we could just also take on the Big Boss as quickly as we could. For once more, being a goblin, he wouldn't stay in a battle for too long. But it did mean at the same time I was having to ignore Azhag. The Korok Man Rippers came back in once more. These guys do have pretty good morale, and these guys do come back into battle quite regularly, so since I had a change of heart once more, I thought, yeah, we need to take out Azhag. Because all he's done so far in this battle is, everywhere he's gone, he's basically been turning the tide of the battle, flying around, keeping out of the way of anything that could kill him. He was basically making all the right moves. But I needed to get him surrounded and killed, and it looked like at this point Azhag decided to slip up. He saw Morko once more as an easy target since he was just near the outside of the battle while the miners were busy doing their thing. So while that was happening, I said, right, get the Man Rippers in as quick as possible while these Bestigors tried to deal with the Goblin Big Boss, but the Big Boss was just too confident. These guys needed to turn around, by the way, but I don't think I'd given an order yet. But what I had done was I'd popped off my Chaos Spawn spell once more. Saw a weak unit, thought, right, get these guys in. And, well, in they went. Started wiping out the Marauders. Didn't really have much of a trouble with them anymore. And also the Black Orcs themselves, while they are heavily armoured, basically a great big punch in the face from a Chaos Spawn is probably fatal in most cases. But again, just being near Chaos Spawn is generally fatal. And some of them as well had started to target Azhag, who, well, wasn't having it. As you can see, he was probably planning on taking off again, but he wasn't quite sure. So the Chaos Spawn did get that chance to basically just score some nice bonus damage. Rune Lord had joined the battle now, right in the middle of a mix. Blood and guts flying everywhere. Big old Black Orc trying to get another big hit on him, but my Chaos Spawn at this last minute spawn had just decided to, well, clean house basically. They'd gone in. Black Orcs were beginning to lose the battle. Rune Lord was just charging in as fast as he could, just basically, yep. using his big old magic hammer just to keep the enemy away. Morker himself had basically gone into a frenzy. Even if he wasn't winning, he was just going to keep on fighting for like his life depended on it. Goblin Big Boss was trying to come back into the battle to assist his leader, but the Iron Breakers had arrived. And they were also invigorated by a rune, I believe, so they were just ready to help me finish off Azhag once and for all. He was trying now to make his escape once more, find another opportunity to enter the battle. But unfortunately now he was just surrounded. He didn't have a chance of escaping. My Ungor Raiders were trying to come back, but some of the Orc Boar Boys were causing chaos on the flanks once more. And the Goblin Wolf Riders still hanging around. But we decided to keep everything in. Also, by the way... Oh, that's a Thane, isn't it? Yes, it is. I thought for a minute he had an ethereal Thane, but it did not. But the Rune Lord was just pushing the morale over the edge now. He'd gone in, taken out everything that was coming near him. Once more, probably for the third battle in a row now, just proving how bloody tough these dwarves are. They just don't die. Azhag now, practically down to no health. Went in to make an escape, but, well, Skull Muncher got greedy. Skull Muncher wanted feeding. He wanted to try and eat that Rune Lord for basically annoying him, so he went in. Blackhawks doing everything they could to help. Morker pretty much at the end of his rope now, but he had been given a extra rune to help him out, so thank you, Angrund. Managed to give him some damage resistance, so that would allow me to get some regeneration done. And also just trying to take out Skull Muncher, but as you can see, yeah, Morker basically got eaten there, but Azhag was doing worse. He was near the end, and I decided to just bring some extra fire in. My Ungors basically delivered a nice big volley into Azhag, and that had pushed him into a retreat, so I kind of got final volley, but at the same time I didn't. So once more, yeah, while I had won, I probably would say more of his victory lied on the shoulders of my ally than they did of me. I had kept the greenskins busy, but unfortunately the morale of my men just wasn't really holding up this time around. But at the same time, it had given me some practice with the Beastmen and also some access to it, because it was the first time I was using some of their regiments of renown, such as the Man Rippers, which would quickly become my favourite unit. I think there are a few more battles where I play Shadow Gave, so I think I will be using the Man Rippers more, or at least I do use them when I'm playing as Beastmen anyway, so they're probably my favourite regiment of renown because of just how good they are for taking out large units. But greenskins were on the run, and that was the end of the day. Norska had basically been wiped out by Angrund over there, and yeah. But Norska was a pain in my neck for the annoyance that they'd caused with their Marauder Javelins just basically taking out my giants so early. If I probably had that giant throughout the battle, I might have done a little better actually, but oh well, who knows? It's all up in the sky. But as you can see, my losses were very heavy, though the same went actually for Angrund. But yeah, greenskins lost practically everything in this battle, and well, Norska wasn't coming away too well for it. But at the end of the day, my Minotaurs, who I barely paid any attention to, actually had a fair few kills. Razorgore Chariot, as per usual when I ever play Beastmen, brought in over 100 kills. Azhag himself, as you can see, he'd brought in a lot of kills, and the Blackhawks as well. They were pretty powerful foe. Even if they're fighting unarmoured targets, they can still rip up anything. But my Bestigors had a good go, and my Man Rippers, whenever they were in battle, they were getting the kills. They had to come away with 123 kills at the end of the day. Meanwhile, on the on Angrund's side, yeah, as you can see, all his hero characters were bringing in their good performances. Miners, yep, they did pretty well. Everything here did well. And on Norska's side, Wulfric was doing what he could. I mean, the only unit I really cared about were those annoying javelins. As you can see, I had a few kills. Not only taking out my giant, but probably took out quite a few of my other units as well, while throwing their javelins absolutely everywhere. But yeah, a very Pyrrhic victory at the end of the day. I'd barely come away from that one alive, but that was actually my first ever victory in multiplayer, so that's why I've shown it. Basically, my first ever victory. I get to brag about something. Though perhaps maybe in these replays there will be victories that lie more on my shoulders than that of my ally. Let us carry on and we shall see. See you on the next episode, my friends.